Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Unplugged. Yet another session right here on K24 where we give creatives an opportunity to come and talk to us about their life's journeys, their creative works, and we celebrate them because why not? They're here from the 254, and today we are very, very blessed to have talented singer, songwriter, recording, and performing artist Webby in studio with us. Karibu sana, bro.
Asante sana.
Good to see you.
It is good to be seen and good to see you as well.
Happy International Men's Day.
And to you as well.
Yeah, and Clinton here from Mawimbi Seafood as well. Happy International Men's Day.
Yes. Happy International Men's Day.
Yeah, this is our resident mixologist, and
Say no more. I can see
you can see it's happening there.
Absolutely.
Look, if you're at home right now, grab a drink. This is that part of the evening where I want you to sit back, relax, and get ready to be completely amazed by the talent we have here in the 254. And we've got Webby. Webby, man, where do I even begin?
Oh, man.
The video we just played, Nikusikize, from your third studio album.
My third studio album, that's correct.
You dropped that in 2016, right?
2016. It's called Lukundo Love.
Yeah.
Lukundo, which means
love. Yeah, in Taita.
Yeah.
And I saw in the video, one of the things that really got me is how there's a desert, then there's a village, then there's somebody there who looks like they're your relatives.
Right.
How did that particular video come together?
I think all credit goes to Jay Blessing. He's the one who had seen that location sometime before.
Where is that?
That's in Kilifi. That's actually in Kilifi. Right. It's one of those remote places that if you asked me to take you to, I wouldn't be able to.
You wouldn't know how to get there.
I wouldn't know how to get there.
Yeah.
But we did, and the village, the place that you're seeing over there, where there's like a small family, and there's there talking to some guys. That's a homestead that was in the periphery of that area.
Right.
So we needed people to tell the story while I focus on singing, so that you can be able to see exactly what that looks like. What the message of the song looks like as depicted. And so we met those people on set, literally for the first time as was shooting, and they agreed to. They loved the story. They loved what the song was about. They're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't even remember their names, but imagine, like it happened so fast. Yeah, it happened so fast.
I love that. Yeah. And we're celebrating men this entire month.
Absolutely.
And standing in solidarity with the No Shave November campaign.
Yeah.
Clinton, unaendeleaje, bro? Guys, the thing with, let me tell you the thing with the barristers. People just come and order and ask. Yeah. Nobody ever asks you how you're doing.
Yeah,
this man will stand there the whole night until what hours of the morning mixing cocktails for people. Yeah. Come to anakuliza maze Clinton, unaendeleaje, bro?
Niko salama, Mike.
How you doing, man?
Salama.
You alright?
Pambana. Tutafuta hizi vitu, man.
Tutafuta hizi vitu. That's what I like. So, No Shave November, and of course we're talking about International Men's Day.
Sure.
And men's mental health is a big issue.
Very big, yeah.
It's a huge issue.
Absolutely.
And, what would you say to men out there watching right now who are, struggling through something, anything? And especially, and why I like the song Nikusikize, because it's about conflict resolution.
It is.
And conflict is one of the biggest things, like in intimate relationships, that causes men to get stressed properly.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so many moving parts in what you've just said, and I think maybe doubling back from the conflict place, that, a man can say sorry.
Yeah, he can.
The fact is, when you're in a relationship, whatever the relationship is, whether that's a very serious relationship or platonic friendships, conflict will be there. People will concern about things.
Right.
I think it's wonderful to be able to give yourself the opportunity to listen and learn and to understand things from a different perspective. And that's really what builds the friendship itself. And that's, the huge benefit of that goes into committed relationships like marriage. I'd say that for a fact because I am married as well.
I'm married.
And so you and I can attest to the fact that, conflict is one of those things that we keep bumping into every now and then, after 2 weeks, after whatever amount of time, and we will need to deal with it. So since we cannot avoid conflict, then how much better would it be if we learned how to deal with it? And that's a very important thing.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I don't want any conflict here, so I have to make sure that Clinton makes the best cocktail that he can. Clinton, what is this?
Absolutely.
This is Pink Lady.
Wow.
All right.
It's non-alcohol though.
Okay, what's in it?
It has a pineapple juice, a bit of sugar and lemon.
Right.
Okay.
And we top it up with a bit of colorish.
Okay. Doesn't that sound really tasty? What we're going to do is make sure Webby works for his drink here tonight. So I want you to kick it off with a performance. What are you going to sing for us?
Since we started talking about men and celebrating men, I think I'll sing Wanaume, which is also from the Lukundo Love album.
Right.
And, the truth is that song is really a reflection of my own thoughts and really thoughts and challenges and everyday experiences that we can relate to.
Okay.
So this is for the brothers.
Let's go. This is for you men out there. Turn this volume up.
The brothers who make it count. We see you, yeah. So many times I'm not sure I'm doing things right. No, no. Wonder how many efforts stay in the fight. You've heard this said, right? Yeah. I've got to be everything she needs me to be. Yeah. Itabidi mpango nakabidi. Yeah. But no one told me that the cost was this high. I have wings, but can I fly? Yeah. Wanaume, 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 check it. Here come the bills. Here comes the struggle for pride. Sikubali kushinda, I'm justified. Yeah. Oh, the pressure's real, and I've got to ignore how I feel. Lazima kanjia, labda kadu. I know I think this, but no one told me that the cost was this high. I have wings, but can I fly? Hey, wanaume, 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 heri nijaribu nianguke kuliko kusimama bure. Mwanaume, mwanaume,
See, this man has earned his drink. I think so. I think so. Clinton just come out.
I should probably put this down so that I can hold that drink.
You need to enjoy that. And listen, one moment we are celebrating you wherever it is that you are. It's so very often that we have an opportunity to celebrate men.
Absolutely.
And men are always just on the receiving end of everything. You complaints, men this, men that. But men do pretty amazing things.
Absolutely.
There's some pretty amazing men out there. Absolutely. So look, we also want to sample some of your responses and some of your thoughts about International Men's Day. Who are you celebrating? Who's the man in your life that you're celebrating? The WhatsApp number is on the screen right now. Send us a picture of the man you're celebrating. Tell us why you're celebrating that man. And if you are standing in solidarity with the No Shave November campaign, give us a picture of your beard as well. So, Clinton, you need to give this man, I don't know how many drinks. I think that's already...
That's the first one? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, you really play the guitar so well, so fluently.
Thank you.
Your mom taught you how to play guitar.
That was my first influence.
Your
yes,
first influence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Your mom would come home from work and
that was her distress, man.
Yeah. Get you and your siblings together and play music for you.
It was a free concert every day.
Yeah.
She'd come home, she's tired, she's had a long day,
yeah,
and she really loved to sing. That was her way. That was a getaway.
Yeah.
I would sit on the carpet and watch her.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much what I decided. You know what? This is something I think I want to do.
Yeah.
And so when I turned 10, I asked her to teach me. Of course, she didn't think that I was serious, to taking it anywhere beyond playing in the house and just having fun.
Right.
So she was like, okay, fine, listen up, boy, I'm only going to do this once. Okay, she didn't exactly say it that way, but she was very serious about not having to repeat this. She was not planning to teach me for the long haul.
Yeah, she was like, okay, let me teach you and get you off my back, and
I don't even think she remembers this, but she taught me the basics.
But so
from there,
so it's only you and your auntie who went professionally into music, because your auntie has a music school.
Yes, she does, and I worked for her for some time. Everyone calls her Miss Joy Tuja.
Yeah.
And she gave me a space to not only learn but also to live out what I was learning. So I had the opportunity to teach. So that was dance, that was elementary music for kids. We had kids from 3 years all the way to 8 years. At least those are the ones that I interacted with. She had the older ones because she was able to take them a lot further than I could. But she went the education route, and that's pretty much her core, that's her forte, although she performs as well, but not like me. You wouldn't find her at a random gig, for instance, but it's really more around the education circles. My mom was, play around the house.
Right.
My family's musical, so everybody enjoys. I do have cousins who are also artists.
Your brother was rapping at some point.
My brother was a rapper at some point, then he left that to go into the tourism industry, and so he's based out of Diani right now.
Yeah.
But I do have a couple of cousins who are musicians. Actually, my cousins, Miss Joy's kids,
right.
They're actually budding artists, putting out music, writing, recording. It's amazing.
And so you grew up in Mombasa.
Yes.
And then, that was primary school. You were in Consolata in Mombasa. I was in Consolata here in Nairobi.
Oh, really?
So we're both Consolata alumni.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And so after, primary school,
Right.
you came and you went to Nairobi school. So you're a Pacherian.
I was a Pacherian for 2 years, man.
Yeah. So what, and when you think about music and high schools, Patch is known for rugby and other things.
Yeah.
Upper Hill is the one that's known for music. Because that's the one that working the pedigree of Kina Sauti Soul and all those guys came from there, right?
Yes.
So were you doing music when you were in high school?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The drama festivals, music festivals.
I was in those things for the 2 years. I mean, for as much as I could be a part of all of those, I did music in Nairobi school. And so after that, I left Nairobi school and went to Aga Khan. That time it was Aga Khan Kenya Secondary, Mombasa. Now it's the Aga Khan School, Aga Khan Complex, I believe. There was no music then, so I had to ditch music for business, which I absolutely hated.
Yeah.
But yes, I was involved in the music. Our music teacher then was Mr. Obaga.
Yes.
And there's a bunch of us who've been through Patch and have turned out to be musicians. You're talking about Chris Edouard,
Right.
Shinsky. Shinsky was in Patch.
Yes.
I mean, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit of guys who've been in that space. And
Okay, so what Webby is doing is he's downplaying a story that happened when he was in Patch.
which is what now?
Which is what he's been trying to avoid, and which we're going to talk about after we take. Let's sample some of the feedback here, because of course we're talking about International Men's Day.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. No Shave November. I celebrate my dad, bro, and all those hard-working men out there. Oh, thank you, bro. That's nice. And he's got his picture there of him shaving.
There you go.
Yeah, and say me after shaving. All right. Let's see who else is here. Courage is contagious. When a brave man takes a stand, the spines of others are often stiffened.
Interesting.
I celebrate all men who are suffering in silence. They should know that they are loved and speak out. Let us unite to end the cancer. And that is Helias from Kisii. All right. Remember, you can keep sending in your feedback. The WhatsApp number is on the screen right now. Here's another one. The Loop. Happy International Men's Day. Happy International Men's Day to you. Celebrating my dad-in-law for the gold in his heart and silver in his hair. It's very rare that you hear somebody celebrating their dad-in-law.
Yeah,
That's
that's actually
rare.
quite true.
All right. More feedback coming in. So many people celebrating men here saying, hi guys, I'm celebrating this guy for me. He made me and my mom. Please wish him well. Shout out to you. All right. The WhatsApp number is on the screen right now. Please make sure that you continue sending your thoughts and opinions as we celebrate International Men's Day. Absolutely. And of course, standing in solidarity with the No Shave November campaign. Okay. So after high school,
right?
Well, no, even before we finish high school, you have to tell us why it is
Yeah.
you are made to slash a bush with a slasher, and the bush had bees, which ended up stinging you.
Oh, that was...
And I'm trying to imagine what it is Webby could have done to deserve that kind of punishment in high school. What did you do?
Allegedly. Well, it was one of them parents' meetings where, parents would come to school and they were having this closed-door session.
Right.
So, that day school was a bit lax. And one of my aunties actually came. I was in Patch with my cousin, my first cousin. And, we were sitting in the car. And then, a random idea came up, as was discussed by the Chama cha Wandugu,
Right.
to drive around one of the fields that we were in. So, everybody got a lap, and I was the last guy, literally the last guy, and my job was simply to put the car back where it was. So
You had one job, Webby.
I just had one job. And I did it, by the way. I did it. But then now the following week, because this happened on a Friday, I'll never forget. It happened on a Friday. But the following week during assembly, we were called out. We were summoned.
Right.
Because apparently the accusation was that we had been driving throughout the entire school. Now, Nairobi School is a very big place.
Yeah.
And, you know, the story that had been presented to the boarding master was we were seen at the farthest corner, then to that corner, then to the other corner. And so when he called me into his office, he asked me, was it true? Is it what you did? I said, no, I didn't do that. And I was telling the truth. But I think at that point, he didn't have the patience to dissect the story to find out, okay, what really happened.
He was not bothered. He's like,
He was not bothered.
I know you did something and I'm going to punish you for it.
And I can't entirely blame him, although I wish he would have given it a sec, because I wanted to explain what had happened, but he wouldn't have it. So he said, you know what, if you're not going to accept that, then, you know, you go home. So I went home. I was on suspension. It was an indefinite suspension, actually. But then my aunt was like, you know what, you can't just stay and just lounge.
Yeah.
So we came back, I think, a day or two later.
Yeah, go take it on the chin.
Yeah,
And
then deal with this thing. And that's exactly what happened. I proverbially took it on the chin, but then the punishment was extended to cutting a hedge. Yeah. Now, this was one of those unkempt, deserted hedges in one of the farthest corner of the school, one of the farthest corners. And I had no idea that there was a hive there. So, you know, first of all, it's Music Fest seasons, and we were scheduled to go to Boma, Kenya High.
Your sister
Because there
school.
was a sister school that year. And I was like, I'm not missing this trip for slashers.
Yeah.
So while my friends were chilling out, because we were all suspended together, I mean, I got the same punishment as them. I might as well have been driving the whole school out. I kept working.
Yeah.
But then now I slashed a hive.
Slashing is the hive.
The thing fell on me.
Yep. And there you go.
And after that, I was burned for a couple of minutes, you know?
And so the interesting thing I found out about you is, you know, when you finished high school,
Yeah.
you went to work for your auntie.
I did.
And you worked for her for 6 years.
For 6 years.
Yeah.
That was an amazing experience.
And what I found interesting is that you were juggling so many things at the time.
Right.
Because you were trying to improve your guitar playing skills,
Absolutely.
you know, your music skills.
Yeah.
You were studying because you were in college.
I was in college, graphics
and,
college.
and you were working.
Yes.
So how are you juggling all that?
I think the motivation that I wanted to make something out of my life, and I wanted to kind of take advantage of as much as was being given to me, because I realized that it wasn't usual that things played out that way. You know, typically, you know, I would have probably waited out in Mombasa for a bit, you know, figure out what college is going to look like.
Right.
But I knew that I didn't want to, you know, begin that part of my life in Mombasa, which is why I came back here. And my aunt and uncle were very gracious to have me. They became my parents, really. And they were very gracious to have me, and I stayed with them. So here I was. I mean, I'm learning the ropes, teaching elementary music. I'm figuring out my next steps for college. I'm definitely pursuing and building the blocks on what will look like a musical career, you know, in the not so distant future to come.
Yeah, because then you also started working on your debut album.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in fact, I actually started writing it in that season. This is beginning 2003, early 2003.
Right.
I first stepped into the studio in September of 2003. So, you know, that's when I was introduced to a guy called Steve Ominde, who owns Soul Child Records.
Right.
I was introduced to him through his then associate producer who was working there, called Ben Gitau. We know him as Gits. And he was part of a singing group called the Votaries. So, you know, the Votaries were also recording an album around that time. And I would, on my off days, I would go and hang out with them. I mean, I became friends with them, and we would just hang out. They were the only male friends that I had at that time that I would spend time with, and you know, just kind of imagine what my life would look like following the path they were on.
Right.
And what I didn't realize was, you know, Steve was paying attention, and he was like, you know, I think there's something
There's
here.
something in you.
Yeah. So, you know, he called me aside one day and told me, listen, I think there's something here, and if you want to do music, this place is open to you. I
That's
was
amazing.
ready. Yeah, and
That's amazing.
I had not seen that coming. I knew I wanted to be a musician. I didn't know how it would happen, but that's how it was. You know, Providence, I think.
Okay, so I mean, we're going to talk about that because there's
Yeah.
something interesting about your first two albums,
Yeah.
and your third album took a totally different turn in terms of how you sounded. Your first two albums are very R&B heavy and you know focused on, and we're going to get about to why your third album sounds different.
Okay.
But we want you to perform something for us first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me take the love turn. We started out with Nikuskize, then I
Right.
sang a song for Mwanaume.
Yeah.
Now let
and
me
you
sing
can,
one
and you
for
can
the
see
ladies.
Clinton
He's
is
working.
doing his part.
This one's called Pamoja Milele.
Right.
Still out of the Lukundo Love album.
Right.
All right. Ooh, oh, oh, hey. nikikuangalia wapendeza, waufanya moyo wangu kudunde. Iye, iye, sijawahi kuyahisi haya yote. Umenipa mapenzi tele tele. Tumehusiana kwa muda mfupi. Sikudhani nitakutana nawe. Kila siku pambazuko la mapenzi. Wewe malkia, mimi mfalme. Ni wewe kipenzi cha maisha. Kilele cha raha sitafika. Sindwele yale yaliyopita. Nataka tuwe pamoja milele. Koloni mlungu wanirasimia. Waneneka mdu mchaone kunde. Iye, 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 ngelo inamfunyira chapcha. Kwa gose agawani bonyera. Ni wewe kipenzi cha maisha. Kilele cha raha sitafika. Sindwele yale yaliyopita. Nataka tuwe pamoja milele.
Okay. Definite. So Clinton, hiyo ni lugha gani alikuwa naimba hapo?
Umefuatia Clinton kazi.
No, namuuliza tu because there's a reason I'm asking. Because you've thrown some Taita into that song, right?
Absolutely. Well, that's the half of the song.
That's half of the song, it's in Taita.
Yeah.
And I think the only other Taitan musician I know is Fadili Williams.
What? Yes.
Yes,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I get.
Yeah,
but we sing about Stella and, you know.
Yeah.
And so your first two studio albums were very R&B.
Very
This one is more like, rumba, Afro-soulish.
Yes.
Why did you change?
Enter RK.
Right.
So,
Mwanabuja.
Mwanabuja, how this whole thing started really was a conversation. I'd gone to see him. So, I was long done with my second album, which is called All I Can Say. And I felt, this is now about what, about 5 years, about 5 years after.
Right.
So this is early 2014. And I felt like I needed to get back into music, but I wasn't sure how I was going to go about it. I didn't have a record deal. There was no place that I was recording music at. So I wanted to talk to somebody. I was looking for somebody who would believe in me enough to give me some leverage, So I went to see RK. We'd known each other on and off, we'd spoken, but we'd never really sat down to think about how, it would look like if we worked together.
He's a talented producer.
Amazing guy. So I went and sat with him and I was like, the summary of everything I was saying was basically, I want to get back into music. Would you open your house to me? And so he said, okay, first of all, if I'm going to work with you, we're going to need to change some things because I feel there's a side of you you're not showing. And I was like, what side is that, And he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, inside every person, there's a villager. Inside every person, there's a villager. You need to bring out your villager and show that villager. I mean, the R&B is nice. You sing really well. You write really well.
Connect on a
well
village,
done.
on a very primal level.
Yeah. Now make music for the villager inside you, and make the music the villager inside of you is capable of making.
Right.
And let the people who from where you come from connect with you also from this is our son. This is music from our place. Represent that because I think you can. So at first I was like, hey, okay. I've never even attempted to write a Taita song at any point. In fact, that song that I've just sung, Pamoja Milele, originally it wasn't even like that.
It wasn't?
It wasn't. It had an English second verse, which I can't remember now. But he said, go change the second verse of this song and write Kitaita. Then let's see what happens.
Okay.
So I was like, cool.
And you speak Taita?
I speak Taita. It's a struggle, but it's there. I can speak it, I can understand it, I can write it, I can sing it. And so, long story short, we decided to work on that song, and that became the song that would introduce me or release me, I think, into this space of tapping into the villager inside me. You know, singing in my language, adopting, slightly moving away from the R&B feel and taking this acoustic sound into what sounds like Afropop, you know, rumba, zouk. That's essentially when I started to explore.
And the arcade, if you're in the arcade, there's going to be a zouk sound there somewhere.
He has such a signature sound, you know. There was a bunch of people who would say, you know, you can hear an arcade sound anywhere and know that's an arcade song. And it's true. He just really believed in taking what it is that's there and then cleaning it up and then representing it.
All right, Clinton, what are you making for us here now?
I've made two.
What is this?
My goodness.
This is a raspberry colada.
Okay.
Colada.
Wow, I'm really working for my drink. You know,
you're working for it. And if you see Clinton here bring out the 12 glasses, you know you're doing a good job.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
The short one is a
Let's take some feedback because the people here are talking about, you know, celebrating International Men's Day.
Absolutely.
And, you know, we are on Unplugged with Webby here. Fantastic human being, but also a great, great musician. I salute men who positively contribute to communities, families, environment, and society. God, good job, and keep the fire burning. And there he is with his beard.
Right.
Salt and pepper. Hello, shout outs to all of you. The show is really dope. Barcelona from MKU celebrating this man, CEO Gregma Events. He really stands out to encourage men to speak out without fear or favor. There he is. There you go. Hey, I want to wish myself happy International Men's Day.
Yeah, that's fine too, by the way.
Listen, men, mjipende, mjipende says, celebrate yourself. Kevin Bosco, they are following and loving the show from Gashia, saying happy International Men's Day as well. Happy International Men's Day to you, Kevin. Thank you so much for sharing your picture there with us. Here's another one, Sime from Mombasa, saying, I celebrate my dad and myself. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there he is, celebrating himself. Happy International Men's Day, guys. I celebrate my love, Elvis. He's brilliant. And he's also standing in solidarity with No Shave November there.
All right.
Okay, so in 2014, something happened that changed your life completely. You went and you competed in a competition,
right?
With the Airtel and Trace.
Airtel Trace Music Stars.
Yeah, Music Stars.
Right.
So this is what I found interesting.
Okay.
So the way the competition was structured, you had to call a certain number and sing.
Yeah.
You called and sang a very, very difficult song by John Legend.
Yes. All of Me.
All of Me.
Yeah.
Why would you choose such a hard song to do for a competition? Like, you call and sing anything else. John Legend is legend. Like, why that song?
Well, I figured that, you know, it would give me some standout quality.
Right.
But also I realized that his tone of voice and mine are somewhat similar.
Yeah.
And I really like the way he writes. And I love that song. Of course, it was a big song that year as well. So I was like, you know what? You know, I found myself with a bit of time. I'm not standing in front of a bunch of judges, and all I need to do is just use my phone. Right. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, like, I mean, even if it's a no, my current circumstances don't change. Life just continues as it does, as it's been going. So, you know, I think that's the first song that I picked. I didn't overthink it. And I did it. Okay. And I called in, and then, you know, I think 2 weeks later, because the competition, the auditions were actually pretty much, they were earlier in 2014. But everything kind of condensed towards the end of 2014. That's when, you know, there was a short list. That's when we made it into a house where we went, you know, we were kind of like in a boot camp of sorts for a good section of December of 2014. And
which
then
worked well in your favor.
It did.
You won.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, you won.
To be honest, I didn't see myself winning. Because, I mean, I felt like the odds were stacked up against me. First, I was the oldest person in the house by far. and you know, I'd thought about winning, and I was processing and realizing this post the winning, that we fight so hard to win, then when it happens, you don't know what to do with it. Like,
it's sort of anticlimactic.
You're like,
okay, fine,
yeah. But it happened, and that was such a turning point in my life, because that was perhaps the second most significant thing I had won in my life as an adult.
And then you went on to compete, you know, with other musicians from across the continent.
Absolutely. So it was a two-level thing.
You got to meet Akon.
I got to meet Akon. You
know. So now here's the thing.
Yeah.
When there's this kind of competitions, what we usually see is you know, the talent goes and this guy goes and he wins and there's a big hula baloo about winning. And then the people who actually become successful are the ones who are number 4 and 5 and 6 in that competition. The person who usually wins sort of fades off into obscurity.
I'll tell you why.
Why was that different for you?
Because many of us, or many people, are predisposed to going into this competition with the wrong mentality, the wrong understanding. The belief is, and I can't fault them too much for thinking that, because that's what they're sold, that's what's sold to them. The belief is, you get into this thing, if you win, your life is set. Like somehow all the Lego pieces will just come together and build your thing. What they don't realize is the competition is a few minutes of fame, but the real work is behind the camera scenes. Like you already have to figure out, you have to have figured out what it is you want, and you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to build, whether or not there's fame, whether there's notoriety, whether there's, you know, open doors. Like you're willing to keep sludging at this thing every single day and build your dream. Actually, I think in simple terms, it's really build your dream. Don't expect anyone else to build it for you. Technically, what people do is they come and support what you're already doing. It's you who builds the momentum. No one builds the momentum for you. So the person who will be in a moment of glory like that and fade off, and then you have in that same situation someone who wasn't in that moment of glory per se, they didn't win, but are the ones who end up shining are because they've understood that very personally, and they keep at it. You know, I mean, even right now, some of the people that I was competing against who are also some of my friends, I mean, they're doing the same thing. Fee, you know, Fee is, she's an amazing artist. Very she's doing really well. You know, shout out Fee, you know, love and respect. She understands that. She's one of the people I look at and I respect, and I'm like, this chick, she figured this thing out pretty early. Very early. Yeah, and she's making it work.
There's something that you do that's very interesting. I don't think we can end the interview without you talking about it. Soulfire Fridays.
Actually, so what I do is I run an enterprise called Soulfire Inspiration. And, you know, it exists essentially to inspire people to live intentionally and purposefully. And the way I do that is through my music, through writing. So I write a lot of encouragement. I'm all about encouragement and inspiration.
Yeah, because you've got like over 80 episodes of Soulfire Friday. You talk about a lot of really important things.
And it's all topical discussion. You know, I get inspired by life events. I pick out a topic. I make content out of that. So I write, I make videos, and I also podcast. And this is aside from the music. The music is the core driver of everything, but I figured what other ways can I express myself? And so I do this to basically just keep sharing encouragement and to share my faith through that space in a way that will be relevant, will be simple and practical for whoever's on the other end listening in or reading in. And all that is just so that they can see that there's hope, there's a part they have to play to realize their dreams, to be the best version of themselves. And I derive a lot of joy from seeing people be the best version of themselves.
I like that. Where can people watch that? And how can they get the music?
On YouTube, you can watch the Soulfire Fridays videos. Also, basically, all the content that I make that's video, it's monologue based. So there's short conversation, just things to think about, reflection. That's on YouTube, and I'm at Webby Music. So Webby Music on YouTube. The music, of course, is available everywhere. iTunes, MOOC, Bandcamp, wherever it is that people consume their music, my music is available there. You know, Boomplay, I think Mdundo. Yes, because there's very many platforms.
There are many platforms.
Yeah, and in terms of the writing, I think on my social media platforms, because on Twitter I'm at Webby, Instagram at Webby Music, Facebook Benjamin Webby or Webby Music, which is also my Facebook page. I've posted links there for how guys can connect. So whether it's to subscribe to be on my mailing list, I send out some mail every single week. Once, I don't spam guys, I promise. Just once. Short reflections, stuff that you can, you know, practicalize or build your faith with, and that's essentially how it was.
It's truly inspiring. What's next for Webby? Very quickly.
I am working on an EP right now. I've been privileged to work with a very good friend of mine, a long-term collaborator called Riga. He's produced and co-produced with me 2 songs, and also a guy called Dennis Ihaji. Riga runs Chumbani Records. It's a new record. He's just registered that this year of 2020. Dennis Ihaji is a long-term producer, or a long-term friend and producer. I worked with him on the Lukundo album, on the subsequent singles. He's of Ihaji Made It. So I've got this new EP that I'm looking to release in February. And the finish line is very close. You know, we've been working for the last 2 years, and it's been an amazing experience. I'm really looking forward to having that EP out. That's big on the knees for me. Oh, let me actually take the tall glass and honor
my brother.
That is it right there.
Happy International Men's Day. Cheers to you. You have a drink there.
Yes.
Drink.
We have to cheers you also.
Cheers. Cheers here.
Thank you so much for mixing this.
And to you at home, happy International Men's Day to you. Thank you so much for participating. And of course, as usual, for your thoughts and opinions right here on The Loop. I think let's finish with the song Pamoja Milele.
Pamoja Milele.
Yeah, okay. That's I think is a fantastic tune. We'll play the video, but we'll also listen to you as you play it, and we'll sign out like that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me here on Unplugged. Thank you so much to Benjamin Webby, and of course, thank you again to Clinton from Mawimbi Seafood, always giving us the best cocktails here.
Absolutely.
And as you enjoy your weekend, make sure that you take time to celebrate yourself if you're a man, or celebrate another man who could be your relative, a friend, or somebody in your circles. And let's encourage men to support each other and, of course, live healthier lifestyles, because we want to be around for longer. For me here on Unplugged and the K24 family, have a fantastic Friday night, and we'll catch you again next Friday here on The Loop and Unplugged.
Kwa loli mdungu wanirasimia, wanineka mdu mchaoni kende, ngelo ina mfunyira chapcha, kwa gose aga wanibonyera, niwewe kipenzi cha maisha, kilele chara sitafika, sindele yale aliyopita, nataka tuwe pamoja milele, nikaie kwa lukundo kwa kala, matukugelo la gaita. Ni wewe, nasema ni wewe, hakuna mwingine. Ni wewe, oh, ni wewe, hakuna mwingine. Ni wewe, kipenzi cha maisha, kilele chara sitafika, sindele iliyopita, nataka tuwe pamoja milele, nataka tuwe pamoja milele, nataka tuwe pamoja.